as we are diving into a compliance and oversight with the theme, regulating the healthcare value chain product and service. And for this, may I request, and we have esteemed presence of Mr. Anil Johri, former CEO, NABCB. I request everyone kindly welcome Mr. Anil Johri, our moderator for this session. And now I'm calling our panelist, ladies and gentlemen, give a big hand to Mr. Girdhar Gyani, Director General AHPI. Give a big hand to our next panelist, Mr. Rajiv Nath, Forum Coordinator AIMED. Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Monica Pahuja, PhD, PGD, Pharma Economics Scientist E, Discovery Research Division, Indian Council of Medical Research Development of Health Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Next, give a big hand to K. Madan Gopal, Advisor, Public Health Administration, NHSRC. Dr. Abhay Kumar Sinha, Director General, SEPC. We have with us Dr. Abhay Kumar Sinha. Okay. And our last, now, as we all know the theme of this session, regulating the healthcare value chain, product and service. Now over to our moderator.
Hello, good afternoon everybody. So, with all the delays taking place, this is a super over contest only. So I guess we'll have time for one question each. एक बॉल में छक्का मारना है, मार लिया तो ठीक, नहीं मारा तो आपकी किस्मत. Welcome all the panelists. I think we have a very diverse panel. As I see, we have a manufacturing industry representative. We have, I would say, Dr. Madan Gopal as healthcare industry representative. We have a researcher, we have a standards person, and we have a user of these facilities, promoting exports. So I have a question to at least two people. One is Mr. Rajiv Nath and the other is Dr. Pal. Do you think the entire healthcare value chain should be regulated? And if yes, where do you think the gaps are? Rajiv Nath is the latest entrant to the regulatory field, medical devices. So what else can be done or should be done in the product side, and Dr. Madan Gopal on the services side?
Thank you. So yes, of course, consumers at times become patients, and we are also at times consumers and patients. So it's both the ethical question and the need question. There was a time when doctor community in India was treated like gods, highly respected, highly trusted. We can see that over the last decade that the trust factor is being diluted, and now that they are seeking legal protection and police protection to protect their interests and their safety. And why is this trust factor and security issues come forward is because we find that the healthcare community in India, especially since when privatization and corporate hospitals came into the country, we did get in healthcare delivery which is now world class. We did get in healthcare delivery which is much less priced than international pricing norms are. But what is missing, and I think where the angst has been coming in from the consumers and from the patients and their families, has been the lack of transparency and the lack of equitability. So if you go to a hotel, you can pick up the menu card. If the prices are too expensive, you can choose something cheaper. And if the whole menu card is beyond affordability, you can move to another restaurant which is more affordable for you. So I do think the time has come now that there needs to be Self-regulations, which was tried, I don't think it's come forward. So you need to have now external regulations coming in. Maybe initially as an ethics code, like you have the ethics code in pharmaceutical and medical devices for marketing. Initially we'll start as an ethics code, leave it to the hospitals, but they know that now they need to quantify something and justify to themselves that this is rational or irrational. And if they will still not get disciplined, then I think it's the right for consumers and patients to seek for external regulations and bring in a law. It's okay that this is a free enterprise country. We want open competition, we want healthy competition. But if a patient is lying on a hospital bed, he cannot choose the brand he wants. He cannot walk off from the hospital if it's not affordable to him. Then that is not a free market. So if something is happening like that where he cannot make a free choice, then we need to bring in regulations. These are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv Nath. He's touched on very sensitive issues of pricing and transparency.
I won't be going into that.
So
sir.
I think
I would be
Dr. Madan
straight away-
Gopal can.
I would be just focusing on the things which are for the system. Because if you talk about the aspects about regulation, we have to see the end outcome, what we are doing for all these activities. In a health system perspective, if you look at, we are all there to serve the people. For serving the people, you require a health system. In the health system, you require human resources, infrastructure, drugs, diagnostics, and the governance aspects. For infrastructure, we have been following the Bureau of Indian Standards. That's one of the way which minimally prescribes that what is required. Apart from that, we have tried to standardize that, and Act was enacted, Clinical Establishment Act, in way back in 2011, and many of the states are in the process of adopting. So both the models are there. That's one way we are trying to see that how the infrastructure per se is regulated, but still not regulated. That's one thing. It talks about the only institutions which are following the allopathic practice. It prescribes that, but to adhere, you have to take it to the next level. These are the gaps and the challenges which are there. I think we need to work on that and see how collectively we can work together so that work towards having a public good, public service good. The whole objective is that. It's not कि मेरा काम है, इसका काम है. Whole objective is to have a good quality public service good. So for that, all the aspects are to be addressed, and we see that how collectively we do that. Tits and bits, everything is there, but see that how the convergence happens, and collectively how all the people can come together at one platform, so that at least for a common public good they can work to it.
Thank you, Dr. Madan Gopal. You mentioned standards. Let me tell you that since I am part of the National Council for Clinical Establishment, that minimum standards for hospitals have been finalized for Ayush as well as modern medicine, and they are in the process of notification. Minimum standards for labs are already notified. But Clinical Establishment Act itself is right now adopted by 13 states and all union territories minus Delhi. I don't know whether things have changed in Delhi after the change of government, but so implementation of Clinical Establishment itself is right now at a very low pace. So how do you think BIS could play a role in this area of services in terms of raising standards of healthcare services? Any thoughts?
Thank you, sir, firstly for the question. As far as services are concerned, I mean, the points were made that maybe this is an area that would benefit from standards. And I'd like to inform all of you that we have a specific department now which specifically deals with services sector standardization. It is called SSD, or Service Sector Department. I'm personally aware of some standards that they are working on. Currently, we are focusing more on medical devices, on systems, on infection control, and so on and so forth. Services is something that is on our radar, and we would be requiring, of course, input from the people who are experts in this field to engage with us to take it forward. And this is again an area which currently, I think, with the current regulatory ecosystem, would require people to self-regulate, as Rajiv Nath was mentioning. And I think there is an inherent benefit in self-regulation from the perspective that if you don't self-regulate, if you don't have a right quality, right standards in the services that you provide or the products that you make for that matter, then the market itself is likely to reject you. The government or regulatory or standardization bodies can come in and set benchmarks, of course, and like in the case of many products, these can be even voluntary. And that is a direction that we can take with greater engagement from all the stakeholders, service providers, experts, researchers, public administration, professionals, and standards making bodies such as ourselves. And we can come together and form standards for services. So that is as far as I could elaborate on the subject. Thank you.
Thanks, Aditya. So you heard the areas of regulation as far as services are concerned. I guess you can make a note and go back and see where they can be, where BIS could help in this area.
We can, of course, collaborate on that. Yeah, sure.
Let me go over to Dr. Monica next, the research organization. Even as a non-expert, I'm a non-expert, incidentally. I can identify at least two areas, clinical investigation and standard treatment guidelines. There's two areas where ICMR could support regulation. Is there anything else ICMR could do to support regulation, both product side and services side?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. In today's world, no one is expected to work in silo, basically. No one is expected. So when it comes to ICMR, which is funded by the people, so we have to make an environment wherein everyone should pitch in and work. So to make this more concrete and to bring the outcomes, what the organization is doing, that whenever we are going for any project, any device, any drug, so that's how ICMR provides with all the scientific literature available with it, and also the conclusions bring out with it scientific literature. This is how we are working with all the agencies which are in healthcare, so that something meaningful and with great caliber comes out of it.
All right, I think I've got a couple of reminders from the organizers, so I should end the session. Thank you very much, all the panelists, for your thoughts. I hope something will come out of this. Some of you can go back to your organization, especially BIS. There might be some work for you to do, if nothing else, even SEPC. Thank you very much once again, and thanks to all the audience for your indulgence with us. Thank you.
Thank you all for this discussion on regulation that ensure quality in our healthcare system. I request Mr. Sunil sir kindly come upon the stage to felicitate all our panelist member. First, we are starting with our moderator, Mr. Anil Johri. The session, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the regulating the healthcare value chain. And now we are going to felicitate Mr. Rajiv Nath. Dr. Monica Pahuja. Dr. Monica Pahuja, as we all know, she is the Scientist E in Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now we are felicitating K. Madan Gopal. Mr. K. Madan Gopal, as we know, the advisor in Public Health Administration, NHSRC. Now we felicitate Dr. Abhay Kumar Sinha, the Director General of SEPC. And last, Mr. Aditya Das. Once again, thank you so much everyone for this session. I hope so everyone, we all will get an idea